Yes, guys, happy Monday and welcome to another edition of the Emotion Room. I think this is episode 21 because we missed last week with Easter Sunday and Manchester United not playing football anymore. I mean, I saw something the other day that people have gone to the moon and come back before Man United's played football again. It's
That wouldn't
embarrassing.
surprise me.
It is embarrassing. I don't really like all that space stuff. I don't know about you, Dan. It freaks me out a little bit. But the fact that human beings have gone to the moon, whether you believe they've gone there or not, and come back in that time frame, Manchester United still have not played. Nothing short of embarrassing, but we finally have a game against Leeds United tonight. We're obviously going to touch base on that, on what we think that result is going to be. We're going to look at the last 5 fixtures against Leeds and how they have gone. Carrick basically a shoe-in for this job, I think, especially the way the rest of the league is going. Chelsea abysmal, Liverpool abysmal. I mean, we're the best of a bad bunch at the moment. We really
Yeah.
are. And I think that... But listen, not to take anything away from Carrick, and it's funny I say this because we're also going to touch base on Mark Goldbridge's comments playing down Michael Carrick's... what he's done for the team since he's taken over. I think you touched base on this briefly on your show as well, Dan.
Yeah.
And we're obviously going to touch base on the things that have been happening also. Not much with Man United, as I said. People have gone to the moon, come back. Man United haven't played, but Arsenal have played and done exactly what I predicted they would do. And that is completely capitulate. Completely capitulate. It's like Arsenal in April is... it's a guarantee they fall apart. But there's another team in April that seem to just know how to finish strong. And that's Man City. That's Man City and Pep Guardiola. And Spurs now firmly in the relegation zone. We spoke about that on our last show, how we would like to nick some of their players. I think they're going down as well. Anyway, there's the intro. There's my long blab. SJG always in here supporting. We appreciate you massively, mate. Thank you so much. Afternoon. Dan, how are you, mate? Fucking hell, there's a spider here. Oh my God.
Better than you because I don't have a spider in here, but yeah.
Oh mate, I don't like killing spiders, but this one's got
I'm
to
a
go,
celeb.
mate.
Get me out of here. What's going on?
Jesus.
Should be in
carry
South Africa right now doing the spiders. Yeah.
Oh my please. Carry on.
All
Sorry,
good.
that
All
threw
good.
me off.
Are we good now?
I missed this show
We've done
1
the
week.
trial.
I've obviously not been in this room for 1 week and spiders have taken over. That's it. It's a joke. Anyway, I'm not scared of spiders, but you know when you look to the left, that it's one of them hunter spiders, them
Collect
big
those
house
stars for camp. Collect those stars for camp.
I don't know about you though. When you see spiders like that, apparently it's to bring money. Apparently, but I don't know.
Well, I've seen a lot of spiders, but I still feel broke, so I don't know.
I hear you. Anyway, how are you? Sorry, yes, the spider
yes.
has been averted.
Long time coming. Me personally, not too bad in regards to the football world. It's felt like a bit of a nightmare just waiting so long for another game. It's finally game day, match day, finally. Nice to sort of watch some of those games or see highlights of some of those games of the weekend. I don't think we've done too badly because we've clung on to that third spot, so we haven't done too badly.
What was Villa? What was Villa's score? What was Villa's score? Did they draw with Nottingham
Forest?
Was it
1-1? I think it was 1-1,
yeah,
was it?
So they've
1-1?
drawn as well. I know Liverpool won, didn't they? But Villa also drew, didn't they?
Yeah, 1-1
with Forest. Yeah. Wow.
So it was only Liverpool really that gained some points on us because obviously Chelsea lost, as we know. Aston Villa drew. So we've clung on to that third spot. We just need to do our job now today. So yeah, it's just been a long time coming. Just felt like ages. International break. Obviously, we don't really play football these days. The lowest games that we've played in history. No FA Cup. Obviously, Carabao Cup's gone. Not in Europe. So it's just felt like such a long time. The players flew off to Ireland. Don't know what they were doing over there. But yeah, so we're finally here. Match day. Anyway, how's things with yourself, David?
All right. And been busy with work, family stuff. But yeah, it's just been incredible. I don't think since I've been alive, and we did say this, I guess when I said on this stream and when we all learned as Manchester United fans that this would be the lowest amount of games that Manchester United play for, was it ever or a long, long time? I don't remember the statistic.
Yeah.
I did not realise it would feel this way. Like
Yeah,
it just feels like the season's over. It
yeah,
just
pretty
feels
much.
like, I don't
Yeah,
know,
it made it
did we go
worse
into
because
an
we've come back to FA Cup rather than coming back to the Premier League. So it's made it even worse.
yeah,
I
it's been
don't know if we've
shocking.
ever done that before.
It's
So they
been
seem to have
shocking.
changed things around. So it's been
Um,
shocking.
Look, tonight's game, Leeds United, I'll put this on the screen. These are our last 5 meetings, with the top one on the left. I think that's the left for most people. Being the most recent one, 1-1. Previously to that, 2-0 United, then 2-2. So draw, win, draw, and then 4-2 and 5-1 back in 2021, 2022. But look,
Mm,
this season was 1-1. And I think in pre-season, this doesn't have pre-season games, I don't think, this list that
yeah,
I've put up here. We also drew in pre-season from what I remember.
yeah. I can't remember the score in
I'm
pre-season.
pretty sure we
Yeah.
drew in pre-season. I may be wrong. The point is, our last meeting was a draw. How are you feeling about tonight, mate?
Yeah, It's a weird one really because I feel confident in the sense that we normally do all right against them at home, but obviously Leeds seem a decent side this season at their place. That is, so I am still confident. The only thing that's sort of holding me back a little bit is that there has been some teams over the weekend that have had that sort of 3 week hangover. They don't have much of an excuse as we do because we've not been in Europe or FA Cup. But I think sometimes when you haven't played for such a long time, some people might think that rest is a good idea. I just don't think having that rest, especially for that length of time,
Oh,
helps
mate.
us out very much. That
Yeah.
match rhythm's gone. I think you can sort of tell. I mean, again, watching some
So
of the
you're
games over the
expecting us to be
weekend, you can
rusty
see it.
tonight? You're expecting us to be rusty?
Possibly. I mean, you can only hope that their little retreat in Dublin or wherever they went could help a little bit. But again, you can't compensate for actual match rhythm. And I just think when you look at some of the teams that have played over the weekend, maybe the ones that played more recently looked a bit better in the end, or their stamina were better in the end, and sort of like your teams that haven't been playing and trying to think like maybe Newcastle, for example, is
Yeah,
probably
they lost their
struggled
last
because of
game.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a struggle from Tottenham, another one. So
Oh.
yeah, but obviously we'll come on to them. But yeah, so that's the only thing that's sort of knocking me a little bit is just that such a long gap. But anyway, we've got some players that have played in international duty. They've come back fresh, apparently.
True.
Watched a little bit of Carrick's press conference. He's quite confident in that sense. But again, that match rhythm, you can't. I don't think you can compensate for match rhythm. So we'll have to see how we get on tonight. But
So
hopefully,
what are you what are you expecting?
are
I know
we
you.
doing score prediction right now?
Well, I mean, listen. There's not much to fucking talk about, mate. Listen, that's straight up. So let's just
Yeah,
go with the flow, like we just bumped into each other
yeah,
on the street, mate. What are you expecting tonight? Judging by what
yeah. I
you've just
mean,
said, you think we're going to look rusty, yeah?
yeah. I think there's probably going to be a bit of rust. It's just whether we can sort of knock that rust off early enough to sort of capitalise. But I think looking at Leeds, I watched a little bit of that game against West Ham in the Cup, and obviously I'm never going to be scared of Leeds, but they didn't look as bad as I thought they would. It still reminds me that there is a couple of threats there in their team. Not a massive Calvert-Lewin fan, but on his day,
He's done all right for them, though, hasn't he?
it could rough up our centre backs. And another thing is, respect Harry Maguire or not, he's not with us tonight, I believe, because he's suspended. I am a bit worried about who are going to be our centre back pairing. I don't know whether Martinez is fit enough to start or not. So it could mean that it's Heaven and Yoro, two youngsters. That sort of worries me a little bit. But I think we've got enough up top to make the difference personally. I think we've got enough game changers, game winners, way more than Leeds have got. So for me, I've definitely got a win on the cards. That's
Okay.
my prediction in my show recently is that I've definitely gone for a win. But it's going to be a close one, I think. Personally, I think it's going to be a close game because of the rust and because that, again, it's Leeds United. They'll get up for it. I mean, I don't really see the rivalry. Maybe I'm not quite old enough to really feel the rivalry with Leeds, but I think they've still got it in their hearts that when they want to play Manchester United, they're going to really be up for it. So I think we'll have a game on our hands tonight. Don't get me wrong. I think we'll have a game on our hands, but I think we will do it, and we have to do it. We have to capitalise.
We do, right?
We've had a couple of favours over the weekend. I think we need to keep Liverpool at bay. I think we need to cement that third spot. Carrick wants the job, obviously, long term, and we'll come on to that. So for me, it's going to be a win, and it has to be a win. How are you thinking about the game? What's your feeling on the game?
I've just added a table to the screen just so I could kind of see where we're at in terms of points. And you're right, that will put us on 58 points. And
yeah.
Villa are level on points with us right now. Wow.
Yeah. And obviously, normally, our goal difference isn't great, but it's not been too bad. It's not, especially since Carrick's come in as well. It's not been too bad. Because normally we're in minus at this point. Yeah, we're normally in minus.
We've been in minus for about 4 or 5 years. That's how
exactly.
Anyway,
exactly.
At least
so
3 years we've been in minus.
It shows how goal difference can count here and there. And obviously that 5th spot has opened up now, as that's been confirmed. Because of the performances of the English teams in Europe. So I'm not expecting that we're going to be scraping for 5th. I'm actually quite confident we should finish comfortably in that top 4. But
you want that
again spot. Tonight's got to happen for me because the pressure will be on then. Because maybe, I don't know if they will, but you never know if Liverpool start to go on a bit of a run.
Oh, they've got enough quality, haven't they? They've got enough quality where they can win a few games.
We've got to play Liverpool yet, and we still got to play Chelsea as well. So they're like 6 pointers there. So we've got to be mindful of that we need to get the points on the table tonight.
Cushion.
Gives us a bit of a cushion, and then it's not as nervy going into those games against Chelsea next. And then I think it's Liverpool after that, maybe. I'm trying to think of the fixtures. But
I don't know the fixtures off by heart now. I'll get them up shortly. But, mate, like I said, I've kind of just switched off from looking at anything Man United. Call me a bad fan or not, but I just can't believe how long we haven't played in. But tonight, honestly, I'm going into tonight just enjoying the fact that, guess what? Man United's on tonight.
Yeah.
That's literally where I'm at. I'm an everyday fan. And I'm glad I'm going to sit on the sofa tonight and Man United's on, and I can watch them. And I really hope they put on a great performance. I really hope Bruno gets a few assists. Because I'm still hungry for him to get that record because I think he deserves
in his
it.
sights.
I think he deserves it, and I think we owe it to him, right? He owes it to himself. He owes it to himself. He's been a fantastic footballer for Manchester United, a fantastic footballer for the Premier League. And I know this is about Manchester United tonight, but I'm really, really, really on Bruno's side to just get these assists tonight, and hopefully, someone puts some assists away. Who starts? Are we going in Bumo striker again? We were kind of having the back and forth with this, weren't we? We were kind of Sesko now. Not putting in Bumo as a number 9. Who starts tonight for you? In that role,
there's another discussion I had again, and it's I think in the end I was sort of saying that I'd like to see Mbeumo just sit on that bench and come on hungry, because I think he's the only one really of that front sort of 3-4 that haven't been benched really since Carrick's come in.
He needs a bit of a benching.
And you've mentioned that, and I agree with that. I think just to give him that hunger, because I think sometimes when it comes to, sometimes coaches, when a player's a little bit out of form, they think, keep playing them. That'll play them into form. That doesn't always work for every player.
True.
Sometimes you've got to bench them to make them realise that that position isn't theirs. It's not nailed down. And I think it's whether that was the reason he did it with Cunha or not. It worked with Cunha.
It worked.
You could sort of say it worked with Sesko because every time he came on, he scored. And then the only one it didn't really work on for me is Ahmad. Because he still hasn't really given us much in regards to scoring and assisting. But I think Mbeumo,
he's been poor in general for me.
Yeah, he has, to be fair. I think he does. He does sort of keep hold of the ball well at times, and I think obviously he can sort of press well. He's got good energy, but I think in terms of just what he offers to the team, in terms of again goals and assists, we need that. And I think I don't mind him coming on and hopefully making a difference. And I think what I always see with Ahmad sometimes, and it's not always what people take much notice of, it's more about again, being able to keep that ball longer, but also about just giving the
end
fullbacks something
product.
to think about as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, the end product does need to improve, but sometimes it's just about giving them something to think about, because it's like you can't keep your eye off him because he will jink into the box, he will do something
Mm.
clever here and there, and it's then what does that free up for the other players in terms of space and what have you. So you've still got to keep an eye on it. It can't be like Dallo where you think, oh, just let him have the ball, he'll just shin it over the bar. You can't do that with Ahmad because you never
Nah.
know. He might score or he might assist. So
For
you've got to be
me,
careful.
there's a lot of players in this team, right, that need to show in these remaining games why they should be here next season and why
Mm,
they should be in the team. Full stop. And you got if Carrick is going to take this job next season, he's got to be ruthless. And
yeah.
players like Ahmad, players like Mainu, I know you don't like me saying some of these names because you're a big big Mainu fan. I might be exaggerating, but you are a Mainu fan. Players like Yoro, players like Dallo. For me, they've been passengers more often than not, in my opinion. Granted,
Yeah.
I know Mainu didn't play a lot of games early on, but even when he has played, he's not been, he's not fixed our issues that everyone said he would fix. And just sticking to Ahmad right now, he needs to show a lot more for me. Um, a lot of people were defending him, basically saying to me, where are you going to get a better right wing back? That's going to be an attacking threat and defend how he does. He wasn't terrible in that role, was he? He was good as a right
No,
wing
no, no,
back.
no. I
And it
quite
was
liked him as
hard
a
to
winger.
look across world football and say, who can we realistically get in that role that's actually going to be much better than him? And
Yeah.
there wasn't anyone. There wasn't anyone.
Not gettable anyway. No.
But we're no longer playing right wing backs. That's no longer
No.
his role. But now
No.
when I open the question up to you, who on the right wing in world football can we get that's better than Ahmad? We've now got a list of players.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when he was
Wingers
a right
wise. Yeah. Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
was a
Wing
right wing
back.
back, we
Difficult.
didn't have a list of players. So for
Yeah.
me, he was getting not lucky there, but he was getting the benefit of the doubt. And when people would challenge me like that and say, "Hey, who are you going to replace him with at right wing back?" There isn't many. It was a tough one for me to come back with. But
Yeah. Yeah.
now that isn't the role anymore. I know I've repeated
No.
myself, but it's just to
No.
be clear for whoever's watching. There's a ton of wingers that are better than Ahmad, so he needs to buck up his ideas. That's my opinion, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and in Bumo, look, that's who should be playing on the wing for us. I think,
Yeah.
not as a striker. That is our winger, but it's all about squad depth. It's all about having many options. And I know you can look at Ahmad and say he's a good squad depth option, but man, listen, I know maybe my standards have gone back up through the roof, but finishing third. Yes, we can analyze the league. Yes, we can analyze how bad everyone is. We should be kicking on next year to finish second and first. Why not?
Yeah, and this is what needs to happen though, because again, it's Manchester United. And I know people don't like when you say that, but it is. It's Manchester
Yeah.
United.
So for me, Dan, you
Our
have to be
standards are
ruthless.
high.
You
Of
have to
course you
be
do. Of course
ruthless
you do.
now.
Yeah, yeah. Of course you do.
Most people, businesses, whatever you want to call it, improve from a strong position. They very rarely improve from, 10th in the league to
Mm,
first in the league. We're
yeah,
currently third in the league, yeah? And if we finish there, that's a strong position. It is.
yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah,
stronger position, guess what, than 17 others,
yeah, yeah. And
right?
stronger than last season. Yeah,
And
definitely.
way stronger than last season. So
Yeah,
most businesses, as I said, improve from a strong position. They invest, they go from there, they kick on from there. What's the saying? When the iron's hot. I'm trying to say the saying, but I can't think of
strike
it.
when the iron's hot.
That's it.
I think it
Strike
is
when the
something like
iron's
that.
hot.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
me, if we finish third this season, we need to be ruthless. We need to look at our squad.
And if we do it, it'll be the first time we've done it since Fergie, because I don't think we have we? We haven't
Yeah.
really
And
kicked
I'm
on
hearing
after.
things about Morgan Rogers and players like that. No,
But
thank you.
we don't
No,
need him.
thank you.
If
You
Bruno
know?
was going, maybe. But again, we've said it
No,
before.
I see
There
him
isn't.
miss a
There isn't.
sitter. I see him miss a sitter against Forest, and there's
But
this
the problem is
there's
there isn't a direct replacement for Bruno. That's the
there's this
problem.
Carrick link, isn't there? I think he used to be at Middlesbrough with
Yeah, he was
Carrick.
at
We,
Middlesbrough for a bit. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just a player we don't need. We need to be
I just
smart.
think the link is because of that more than anything, if I'm honest. Because I can't see us spending 90 million plus on a player we don't need.
I
So
just think,
I'm
Dan,
not
in
sure how
these,
true it is.
what we need to use, look, we're all but guaranteed to get fifth place Champions League. Like you've confirmed that today by, well, you haven't confirmed it, but you've reminded by confirming to me that fifth place is definitely Champions League. Yeah, which brings this comment in here: Champions League as well will make big names want to come. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So it's all but confirmed we get Champions League, whether that be third, fourth, and fifth. The hierarchy, the manager need to be looking at the team now and saying, look, who can we sell? How can we get a bit more money in? We've got that Champions League money coming in. You know, turn us into something next year of a
Mm.
surprise package, a surprise threat, you know?
Yeah.
And players learning on the job, like Ahmad, like Yoro, like Dallo.
Mm.
They just need to show me something over these next few games. Otherwise, goodbye, my friends.
I don't think
Goodbye.
you can. I don't think you're going to see enough for me though in these next few games. Even if Ahmad sort of finishes off really well, it doesn't mean much to me because I just think I'm not saying personally. I'm not saying sell Ahmad, but I'm saying give Ahmad some competition to fight against because that's the next stage now. Is to bring in the players where Cunha and Boomer, even Bruno to a certain extent, Sesko don't think that their position's theirs. We've got to bring in players now where, for me, and I think Goldbridge has said this so many times, and I don't agree with everything he says, but there's certain things I do agree with. And I think some teams bring in squad players when they've already got that first team and they're happy with it. And some teams need to bring in first team players still.
We do.
And I think that's where we're
like
at.
that.
We
Yeah,
have
we
to
are,
bring
we
in
are.
first team players. We have to, and what we can't do is be bothered that people are butthurt because they're losing the position. Or
That's it.
a lot of our fans who are like again, I love Bruno, but if a player came in that's better than Bruno, I don't care that Bruno goes on the bench. And it's same with an Ahmad
I mean,
and Burma, you
I'd be
name it.
shocked to find a player better than Bruno.
Yeah,
However, I'm with you.
but,
I'm with you. It adds to our team. Yes, yes,
yeah,
it adds to our team. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think if we bring in 5 signings, at least 3 of them have got to be first teamers, where it's like they walk into the team in a sense.
Totally.
Maybe
yeah.
There's an argument for all 5 that need to be doing that, but we definitely need to be looking at. And now, obviously, if we're looking at a keeper, that's probably going to be a second keeper, for example. So that will be one of the 5 anyway.
I mean, Onana thinks he can come back, obviously, but yeah,
well, no chance of that, hopefully.
Yeah.
But when it comes to midfield, so they've talked about 2 midfielders. I think both of them have got to be midfielders that could start. So ahead of what we've currently got. So if Agate stayed, it's got to be ahead of you, definitely.
Tell you what, I mean, that Alex Scott looked good against Arsenal the other day.
Yeah, I'm starting to hear a few more people talking about it. 'Cause again, sometimes I'm a bit of a snob. Yeah, I'm a bit of a snob sometimes, and I don't always look at the lower teams' players sometimes.
Mate,
but
he looked decent.
Scott, he's not on my radar, but I'm gonna have to start looking at him because he's not on my radar. But he could be gettable.
For me, we need a few options, right? We need a few options. And let's say Tonali's like 100 million. Let's say that's what he ends up being. And Alex Scott is 40 to 50 million. You know, I'd rather get 2 Alex Scotts than maybe 1 Tonali. I'm just, you know, I feel like we
that's it.
Yeah, I might be wrong. Where are you at with that? Would you rather get the quality for 100 million?
I'd go again. I'm only going off what people have been saying. He seems to be becoming a bit of almost like a, I don't know, not quite Anderson, because Anderson's out the stratosphere in terms of the hype around him, but is slowly gaining interest from people. I'm starting to slowly hear certain people saying, you know,
he looked great against Arsenal.
You know,
I watched that whole game because I hate watch Arsenal all the time.
And I think
he looked great.
Hate watch. Yeah, I think for me that'd be like if you're getting 2, he's number 2, and then number 1's got to be. But I think I still have a sneaky feeling though that our number 1's going to be Belabor, and then anything else that we can get. That's just my fear.
The reason I'm talking about players like Ahmad, players like Dallo, players like Yoro, players like Mainu, is because if I start talking about players like Mount, Casemiro's already going, Ugarte, because those are the priorities. Like, you know, Casemiro's going, and I think it's time for him to go, even though he's been great under Carrick, if we're honest. Right? Ugarte needs to go. Mount needs to go. But you're getting fuck all for these geezers. Absolutely fuck all for these geezers, right? However, you'll get some money for Ahmad. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you'll get some money for Euro. You'll get
yeah,
some money for Dallo. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
This is why I'm pinpointing these guys for a fact. Do you know what? Are you ever going to be good enough?
I just don't know how
Euro's a bit harsh,
ruthless.
maybe. Euro's a bit harsh, maybe.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
need to be ruthless because let's
I
quickly
just
go
don't know
through
how
it. How
ruthless
much?
these lot are going to be. That's
And
the
this is to
problem. But
whoever's in the chat. Yeah, if you can help me answer this along with Dan. How much do you reckon we get for Dallo?
for Dallo,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time where there was some good money on the table and we didn't sell him, but now probably I can't see it being much more than 30 million, to be honest.
Right, 30
Maybe
million
I'm
for
way
Dallo.
off, but
How much money are you going to get for Ahmad?
yeah, that's a bit different. Maybe again, it's about what market. I mean, again, you probably wouldn't want to sell him for anything less than
Rob's
50.
come in 35 million. I'm guessing that was for Dallo. So you're not far off. Dan said 30 million. You're saying 50 million for Ahmad, right?
Yeah.
How much? This is a tough one, in my opinion. How much are you going to get for Euro?
Yeah, the thing is, it's going to be difficult to get a profit on him, though, at the moment. That's the problem. And I can't remember how much we spent on him. So 50 million, Ahmad, yeah.
So we're up to 80 million at the moment. We're up to 80 million at the moment.
Again, at the moment, you're probably looking around that sort of 30, 40 mark, maybe.
30, 40 for Euro. So that let's call it 30. Let's call it 30 worst case scenario. Yeah, Rob's come in and called it 40 million, yeah. SJG said he'd give Dallo away, mate. I'd pay for him to go away. I'd pay 10 mil for him to go away. I cannot stand
let's all clump together.
I cannot stand the fella. The point is that adds up to about 120 million. You know, Rob came in and said 40 million as well, right? Mate, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a top player, top midfielder. And that's without spending Champions League money. I'm just saying, and I know we've lost 3 squads.
You still need to replace some of them, though, for me.
Do you?
I don't think you.
Do you not start dipping it? Do you not start dipping into the academy?
Centre backs is very thin on the ground at the moment. Delict, we don't know what's going on with him.
Academy? Do you not?
But the problem for me with centre back though is Harry Maguire is getting on. Okay, he's staying, but he's getting on. Delict, we don't know what's going to happen with this back issue. Then you're just really left with Martinez, that's injury prone, and then Heaven, that I'm personally not that sure on yet. So you are getting very thin if you didn't replace Euro. Dallo, again, even at right back, who you bring in? Mazraoui. Again,
that's another player.
I've not liked him since Amarin's gone, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I've not liked him since Ten Hag's gone.
Yes,
I've not liked him since Ten Hag's gone.
True,
Mazraoui,
that's probably true.
Mazraoui, when Ten Hag was there,
I think he did all right centre back for a bit, but he kept moving him and moved him into left centre back and moved him all over the place. But you are right; his best time was under Ten Hag. So you'd have to bring a right back in. Now I can't think of an academy. I know what you mean by academy, but the academy players seem to be at the moment Shea Lacey, who's a winger, JJ Gabriel, who's not quite old enough
who's
yet.
Apparently going to get a chance next year.
Yeah, and he probably could next year. Other than that, you've got a couple in midfield. So you've got Fletcher's sons, midfielders.
yeah.
You've got Jim Swaits, I think it is, who looks pretty good. Midfielder again. Kone, a midfielder again. So I haven't seen a fullback. Now, there is, he's gone out on loan. I know Amarin sort of dissed him not so long ago. He's not bad. He's a left back. He's not bad. You've got Diego Leon.
That's what I was just about to say. That's another one. Last season,
but right back, though, that's where we'd struggle. If Dallo went, you actually are struggling if Dallo went, seriously.
I think to close the subject on this, I think we're in a place now where if we finish third, we need to kick on.
Harry Amass is what we're thinking of.
Yeah, I think that's another promising one. Yeah, we need to kick on. Is my point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, we're at a stage where if we can just get rid. You know, I don't want to call it dead wood because Amarim, to be fair to him, did a great job of getting rid of the Deadwood FC, right? But he couldn't get rid of the whole shebang, could he?
Yeah,
right?
It could have been a bit better, but yeah, he started it and he insisted on a lot of them going. It's not his job to get rid of them all. It's Ineos's job to get rid of them.
Looking at Garnacho play for Chelsea yesterday,
Oh, awful.
And players like that Amarim parted ways with,
Yeah,
and now
yeah,
Garnacho coming out and saying he made mistakes. You
yeah.
start you start
Oh,
to you
fuck
start
you,
to
pal.
think like Amarim, fair play, you did a good job there. You were a good
Yeah,
spring cleaner. Yeah,
yeah,
I just
yeah, yeah.
feel whoever's taken over next, and it looks like it's definitely going to be Carrick. We need a final spring clean before kicking on again. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
No,
You know,
you're right. You're right in that sense, definitely.
yeah, listen, is that David wants to get rid of every player he personally dislikes. That's why Terry avoids you. Yeah, I'm sure, mate. Terry avoids me. Yeah. Um, look, it's not that. I just want to kick on. I want to kick on from being third. If we finish third, let's kick on. That means we're the third best team in the league. Say whatever you want.
I think
Say
that's one of the
whatever you
things
want.
we haven't. It's one of the things really quickly that we haven't done. We've brought in all the different types of coaches you can think of, but in terms of being able to get to a point where we are now, where I think the team's decent, it just needs building on. This is where we go to the next level for me. Like you've just said yourself, there is building on some of the good players we have got. So we can't argue that Cunha's a good player and Burma's a good player, Bruno's a good player. This is, I mean, we've probably got maybe 2 or 3 years left of Bruno if he stays. Sesko could amount to be something.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he's
There's a good
impressed me. He's
foundation there.
impressed me under Carrick. He's
There's a
impressed
good
me under Carrick.
goalkeeper there that's made a massive difference. Le Mans there, so we can build on this. So I just think we need another centre back. We could do with a possibly another winger, do with another striker, but we need to build on this and definitely have to focus on that central midfield because we haven't done that properly again since Fergie left. We haven't done that properly. Even when Casemiro came in, he was on the downward spiral. He might have had a good season when he first came. He's had a good season this season, but not for the right reasons, though. A good season. So I love Casemiro. I love all the dark arts, as I keep saying. But it's the scoring and the threat in each box that he's been doing. But the actual number 6 role and being disciplined and being an orchestrator, that's not happened.
No. I mean, midfield's been a major problem. And Le Mans coming in here saying, Rob, rather let's talk and discuss our priority players. That's the only realistic way to rebuild, right? And you've got a point, Le Mans, but part of rebuilding is getting players out to balance the sheets. This is a business, bruv. This is not just flipping Football Manager, LMA Manager, Pro Evolution Soccer or FIFA Street, whatever it is. I don't know how old you are, but it says 1789, so you were probably born then, God knows, right? But the point is, right, you need to get rid of some players and not dead. Listen, of course I want to get rid of Mount. Of course I want to get rid of Ugarte. No one's going to buy them. You need to get rid of players that still have some will get some value and some interest that probably are never going to reach that level. Let's have it right. Ahmad doesn't get into Arsenal's team. He doesn't get into Man City's team. He doesn't get into Liverpool's team. He barely gets into Chelsea's team. So why is he in our team? Right? For me, he's not good enough. That's me. That's where I'm at. However, is he a good player? Yes. I'm not saying he isn't. Has he shown moments of being brilliant? Yes, I can argue he has. But he's also shown moments of being absolutely shit. Anthony 2.0.
It shouldn't be a start. Yeah.
For me, if I could get 40 million for this fella, 50 million for this fella, me personally, my opinion, I would cash in, get that 50 million and go get another player. That's where I'm at. Go get an Alex Scott and invest that in the midfield. That's where I'm at. Give him Boomer that right wing position and keep him there. That's where I'm at. If you don't like it, fella, you don't like it. It's not about me picking who I like or dislike, bruv. That's just where I'm at. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? David, sorry for being harsh with you, but you mentioned some very important ones who might not teach you levels you want, but getting rid of them is not easy. Oh, mate.
Yeah, but
also
throw in who you'd get rid of then, and how do you want us to get to the point where David's trying to say?
How can we raise 100 million? Right? Of course, we're going to have some.
Because we can't keep spending. We'll end up like Chelsea, for example.
Exactly.
And we have a transfer ban. You name it.
Exactly, you name it. Now, of course, me just saying get rid of Ahmad, get rid of Dallo, and I don't understand. Not always easy to do, but I guarantee you something. Selling Ahmad's going to be a lot easier than selling
But
Mount.
easier, yeah, exactly. Easier than selling Mount, for example.
We
And
sold
easier than
McTominay.
Agati will be a
Call,
hard
yeah,
to send on as well.
call McTominay an error all you want. The reason the club sold McTominay is they knew they could get some good money for him. It was a homegrown player. What's the word? Yeah, come from
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Homegrown, whatever. And that's why
And
they
it's
sold
100%
McTominay.
profit if you sell him. It's 100%
100%
profit.
profit.
Yeah.
That's it. They thought they were
Some of these players have
reinvesting
got
that.
high book values as well. That's what you need to
Yeah.
remember, Leman, as well. Some of these players have got high book values still. So you've still got to take that into consideration as well.
The issue is
So
they
you've got
reinvested
to
that
get
money
some
in
money in.
Ugarte. They reinvested that money in Ugarte. Terrible. Terrible.
Because we
However,
still have to sell Agati for at least, I think it's at least 30.
You will
if it's
not get that. You will not. You
to
barely
get
get
any
12
profit.
million. You barely
Yeah,
get 12 million
exactly.
for Ugarte. So
This
this
is
is the
problem.
point I'm making, right? This is the point I'm making. We sold McTominay because it was guaranteed profit, guaranteed full money. We reinvested it badly. But if we go off the transfer window we just had, it just took us from 15th place to 3rd place. No one can tell me our attack and our goalkeeper has put us where we are. 100%. Amorim got sacked when we were in around 5th place because of the players he was given. So anyway, we've been on this subject for quite some time. The point I'm making is there's a lot of players that need to show their value for me over the coming weeks. And whoever the next manager is needs to be a little bit ruthless and think, you know what? There's a few players in here. Are they ever going to be good enough? Are they ever going to help us push towards the Premier League?
But I also want us to scout better or trust the scouts, because that was one thing I said on my show about.
I think we have with Le Mans.
We trust the scout with Le Mans, for example.
Because it was meant to be Emi
scout.
Martinez.
Tesco, you could say. There's one or two here and there but we just need to do it a bit more, because problem is for me is the only way to really resolve like a proper wide player is to get someone like Elise. You think someone like that, but we're not going to be able to buy him from Bayern.
This is it.
So
Le Mans in
let's
here
find
all
one.
This. But let's say we did sell those 3 players. Yeah. I just said Ahmad, Dallo, and I threw Yoro in there. Let's take Yoro out. Let's put Ugarte in. Yeah. So you said Dallo 30 million. You said Ahmad 50 million. Let's say Ugarte is 10 million. Yeah. So that adds up to 90 million. Right. Yep. Add 30, 40 million on top of that.
Yeah.
And offer a buying 120, 130 million for Elise. You're telling me you don't want to do that deal? You're telling me that doesn't improve Manchester United?
That money is even better when you start to look at amortization as well. So it's especially if you've got some profit from that money that you're talking about. So it would make sense to do that. And that's the way to do that, because you can't just go out and, as we said already, go out and just spend blindly and not have anything coming back in. You can't do that.
To close this chapter on transfers and the business side of things, I'm going to reiterate so people know where I'm coming from. You improve from a strong position, and being 3rd in the Premier League for me is a strong position. If that's where we finish, it's a way stronger position than we thought we were going to be in. So now, like you said earlier, strike whilst the iron's hot, right? Be smart. Don't do a Liverpool and, go absolutely crazy and go get worked, Isak and all that,
But all players that they didn't need in a way, yeah.
But strike while the iron's hot, go and invest in the midfield, start getting rid of a few players that are on the cusp of, are they going to be good enough? Are they not going to be good enough?
Yeah.
We had enough of that with Martial. We had enough of that with Jesse Lingard. We had enough of that with flipping Rashford. We had enough of that with Sancho.
Yeah, because we can't be dropping out at Champions League next season. That next stage now is to be qualifying for the Champions League every season now, and then after that, it's then going for second, first, you name it.
But SJG says here, take Yoro out of the list. I don't feel that's kind of why I took him out of the list. But one of the reasons I put him in the list, SJG, is value. But it's so funny, isn't it? It's so funny. When I asked Dan to price him up, he's scratching his head thinking, blimey, I don't even think we could get 30 million for him, which shows how awful he's been. That's the truth. So he's not far away from the chopper. I'll tell you that now. He's not far away from the chopper. It's only because De Ligt is injured. Martinez is not consistent enough. We've just offered Maguire a new contract that he signed. Yoro's just in a lucky place, but he's been awful for me. He's been awful for me. Sorry, I cut you off there, Dan. Carry on. Sorry.
No, it would just more about again building on from what you're saying there and what we need to be doing next. And I just again I think we just need to be we have to get the window right. I think we did well last window, as in last summer's window with the players that came in. There generally have been hits. It's now about building on those hits and strike it. We have to strike well again. It has to be at least 90% strike rate, 80-90% strike rate, because if we fall off in any area, it means that we are then battling again. Because again, you never know what the league's going to be like next season. But when you look at this league this season, it's not been great. If other teams improve, and this is why I've said in my own show that we've been linked to Lewis Skelly. Decent
Oh,
player. I don't want him though, because why am I giving Arsenal 40 million to
this is it.
improve their bank balance so that they
Yeah.
can get better players
Exactly,
and then be further away from us?
But
No
this
way.
is exactly what I'm talking about, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Arsenal are thinking, you know what? Is Lewis Skelly shown some great potential? Do we stick with him, or we can actually cash in and get 40 million for him and then
Yeah.
kick on from here?
And like you've just said rightly, that's
You see?
our
That's
Euro
what
or
I'm
Dallo,
saying.
for example.
That's
Well,
what
not
I'm
Dallo,
saying.
but Ahmad, for example. Yeah.
You know, SJG,
Yeah.
I see the thought process there. Me personally just think he needs to build his confidence, and I think Amory took that from him.
Yeah.
I
I would
agree.
say leave Euro alone, but
Yeah,
there's
I
other
agree.
players that we can sell. And
I agree,
yeah.
and it confused him being in a back three, etc. I'm
Yeah.
totally aware what's
But
going on.
again, as we're saying there, we can't be in a position, and there's an obsession at the minute with trying to pinch. And I think Wilcox is trying to be clever here, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to pinch these players that are edging for a move from Arsenal, who are promising, and we might just fall on a gem." But it hasn't worked yet. Obe, where have you gone? Heaven, I'm a little bit like that with Heaven. So it hasn't worked yet. So can we stop putting money in Arsenal's pockets? Now, I know we haven't given them a lot of money because they're both, I mean, £1 million, I think it was for Heaven, and whatever it was for Obi. But if you go to that next level now and start giving them 30-40 million for Lewis Skelly, who you don't even want, no, thank you. Now, Heaven, they wanted, and Obi, they wanted. So that's a bit different. You pinch two players that they wanted to keep. But now you're looking at Lewis Skelly, that's not getting in their team. And the only good thing about him is that he can play in midfield, I believe, and he can play at fullback.
Yeah.
But again, and I was saying this before as well on my show, that I think we've missed having a utility player. And I used to love utility players. Don't want loads of them, but the odd one here and there, like an John O'Shea back in the day, for example. Lovely to have a utility player that you can just shove in different positions and they'll do a good job for you. A bit like a James Milner back in the day and stuff. You can put him anywhere and he'll give you a good shift. So it's nice to have someone like that. But I don't want, as an expense, to give Arsenal that amount of money where they can go off and get a better player and get better than us further still. No way.
If we do
no
that,
way.
that's exactly what I'm suggesting that we do. That's exactly what I'm suggesting that we do. Good to have you back, Michael. I hope you're feeling better, mate. I hope it's nothing too serious.
For a while. Yeah,
it has been a while. And SJG showing love to Michael there. Look, I want to talk about this, right? We spent a lot of time on the business side of things and how we can improve next year, because I think that's important, right? We've had 43 minutes going back and forth about it, but that's my thought process. I think the next 6-7 games, whatever's remaining for us, there's a lot of players for me that need to show why they need to keep the Manchester United shirt. That's all I'm saying. Michael Carrick says he's confident he can deal with the Old Trafford pressure as head coach decision looms. So basically saying, I'm ready, give me the job, I'm ready to go, basically, yeah? Goldbridge said a little while back, and I know you touched base on this already, Dan, so I'll throw this over to you first before I give my opinion. Basically saying, I think some people forget we were joint fifth when Amorim got sacked. Getting Champions League football would be great, but Liverpool have taken 15 points from 33 since Carrick came in, and Chelsea have imploded. So he's basically downplaying Carrick's impact. He's downplaying the fact that Carrick came in to get us Champions League football, and he's all but done that. He's downplayed it. Do you agree with this? Is there some element of truth to it? Or is this just Goldbridge completely like not wanting Michael Carrick as Manchester United manager, full stop?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think there's a multiple things there that can be sort of true at the same time to a certain extent. I get his point of view. because you would imagine that if Carrick comes in and Liverpool are firing on all cylinders and vying for first position, Arsenal are vying for first position, City are vying for first position, that's already 3 in the Champions League spot straight away. Then if Chelsea had been where they should be, that's 4. Then you're looking at Newcastle, that's 5. You're looking at Spurs, where again, Spurs are almost where we are now, where Spurs were lower than us, but they've got that European, they got the Europa League offers,
by winning
which
the
should
Europa
never have
League.
happened, but anyway, it's happened. They then get into Champions League. They've got Champions League money. They've got a brand new stadium. They've already got a decent base there to build on, and they just capitulated. Now, that's not what we want for ourselves. But again, Spurs should have been higher and vying. They were in the traditional top 6. So by the time I've gone through all, and then not to forget Villa. So when you go through the teams that have got it in them to finish in those positions, where do we finish in that unless we do absolutely amazingly? So you could,
which we have done amazingly.
We have, but you could say that then if they all did really, really well, then we'd probably be looking at 7th or 8th at a push, maybe. So then obviously we wouldn't be in Champions League if that was the case. Now, obviously, this is if, buts, and maybes, and it doesn't always work out that way. But going back to, so that's more Goldbridge's angle, where he's thinking, well, he's doing well because Liverpool aren't, Chelsea aren't. But at the same time, Carrick could have come in and not done well. Carrick could have come in and not won those games. Carrick could have come in and not beat City, not beat Arsenal. Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to beat those 2 teams. So he's exceeded my expectations of Carrick in that sense. So on one hand, you can say Goldbridge is right, but on the other hand, you've got to say you've still got to shine where there's a load of shit, though, don't you? If you want to be where we are now, and he's not there from playing shit or not winning games or not being a half-decent coach. So I've got to give Carrick credit, but at the same time, there is that what if other teams were playing better, where would he finish? That is a point. But lastly on that, if those teams were better, Carrick would have taken over with us much lower, you would have thought, because I think, again, he's saying 5th. I think it was joint 6th at the time that Carrick took over. I could be wrong. So easily he could have taken over us at 12th, for example. So it's hard just to sort of say black and white, this is what it is, this is what it is. I think there's more to it than that. And this is why it is a risk, whatever you do. But I don't fully agree with Goldbridge. I would say that I'm giving Carrick credit because you could get a coach that comes in like Igor Tudor, who doesn't win games and makes you worse. You can get Robert De Zerbi that comes in and loses his first game. Carrick didn't do that. So,
didn't win his first 5 games for Brighton. If he repeats that, he didn't get a single point in his first 5 games for Brighton. If he repeats
does it take him a while to get this fantastic
does.
Philosophy to amount to anything?
Like I said,
he's not got enough games.
If he repeats that for Spurs, he's fucking game over, man.
Yeah, he's going to run out of games. He's going to run out of games. So at the end of the day, I get what Goldbridge is saying, and I think some of it is an agenda because he doesn't want Carrick because he's got PTSD, which I've got a little bit of as well. He's got PTSD from Ollie, and he was a part of Ollie's team as well. But what you can't do, for me, what you can't do 100% is what Ollie failed, so he will.
Yeah,
Ollie was an ex-legend. He is, so he's gonna go the same way. You can't.
We all feel that way. We all feel that way.
We feel it, and it's PTSD that's doing that to you. But I think I don't know. Maybe I'd be more inclined agreeing with Goldbridge if there was more options out there that were gettable and more obvious, because day by day, week by week, the options seem to dwindle and you're left with very little. And again, we're not going to go into that, but I don't want Areola, I don't want Glasner, I don't want any of these sort of hipster managers that are here today, gone tomorrow. I'm not interested. So that's my problem at the minute. But how are you feeling about it? Do you agree with Goldbridge's statement?
I think it's absolute bullshit what he said there. That's what I think. It's absolutely bullshit. And the reason it's bullshit is because, yes, Liverpool have been awful. Yes, Chelsea have been awful. Yes, Aston Villa have fallen off. But let me tell you something. If we had Ruben Amorim in charge, we would not have taken advantage.
Yeah.
End of story.
Well,
If
this
Rub-
is it, isn't it? Yeah.
if Ruben Amorim was in charge, we would not have taken
I
advantage.
don't think we would have gone up.
But
I
this
don't
is the
know.
point. This is the
I think it
point.
was on the
So
decline. Yeah.
you have to give credit to the man that took advantage of the fact that he won his games. Ruben Amorim could have won fucking 2 games in a row for a whole year. Do you really think Ruben
exactly.
Amorim would have beat
We almost
Man
got that
City?
guy's haircut under Carrick. So
Yeah, we almost got the guy's haircut under Carrick, and that's why we're in the position we're in. So what Goldbridge has said here is absolute fucking bollocks, to be honest. That's the truth. And that's not me backing Carrick.
no. I get your angle on that, and the only thing that I sort of where I see where he's coming from is that the league is in a poor state this season, but again, you can only play what's in front of you, and there's been enough sort of coaches that aren't doing well enough. Slot won the league last season, isn't doing it this season. That's not Carrick's fault. You know, Rossini's come in, who's meant to be an expert. He's not doing anything. That's not Carrick's fault.
But
not
the
Carrick's
point
fault.
is, Dan, the point is, Dan, forget all of these guys. Forget the fact that they're doing badly. Let's just say they're doing as badly as they're doing now, but Ruben Amorim's in charge. We don't take advantage. I am telling you, we do not take advantage. If I go through the games that Michael Carrick has won, and I put Ruben Amorim in charge, he doesn't win those games. So don't downplay what the man's done. The man's delivered. The man's delivered what, if Ruben Amorim had delivered this, if Ruben Amorim had delivered a 3rd place finish for Manchester United, we'd all be going, he bring the glory days again. We're back in from the Stretford and he's turned the Reds around. That's what we would be singing. So I'm so sorry. I give credit where credit's due. Michael Carrick has done something that Ruben Amorim couldn't do, and that is take advantage of the current shit league. So
when you look back, though, he couldn't get his system going in this league, no matter what anybody says. And when you think about it, just to even go further on your point, is that he had every chance to get that system going in this league with how poor it is, and he still couldn't do it. So when you look back, I loved Amorim. Don't get me wrong, I loved him at times, but when you look back at it and you look back at the tactics and the fact that there is other coaches that do something similar and have carried it out better. Now, I know Glasner's not looking great these days, but Glasner's done it better. Ariola's done it. There's other coaches that have done a similar system to him in a better way. And when you look at it, it's poor overall.
He brought my standards right down.
Breath of fresh air, put players into circles, round holes, circles into that. It's not square into round holes, that sort of stuff. It's just putting players where they should be playing. So
there you go. I mean, he's come in and just done the basics, put people in their right position, for fuck's sake, for starters. Anyway, let's read some of these chats. Michael says, Goldbridge 80% of the time talks shit since Carrick took over. Going by the points accumulated, exactly, despite the form of all other teams, we would be right up there competing. Correct. And we even had the conversation of if Carrick took over a little bit earlier, could we be in a title race? You never know. You never know, right? He then goes on to say, Carrick has done well given the negative press he got from the oldies or so-called legends of the team. For a club to do well, other clubs have to be bad. City going to win the league because of Arsenal. Doesn't mean they didn't do well as a club, Arsenal, I mean. So basically no club gets to the top without other clubs screwing up. Yeah, again, he's making a point, but
this is truth to some of that.
He's still talking about other clubs being bad. I'm not even focusing on that. I'm focusing on the fact that even if them other clubs were bad, if Amorim was in charge, and Michael will definitely agree with me, he wouldn't have taken advantage. That's all I'm saying.
But on the flip side of that is that people forget that why Arsenal could win, why City have been winning, why Liverpool won last season is because we're bad. So people forget that. So, you're not going to get, I've said those teams, 7 or 8 teams that are good teams that if they played well, we might not have a chance. But it's not realistic for all of those 7, 8 teams to play really well and be vying for Champions League and vying for the top of the league. It doesn't work like that anyway. There's peaks and troughs in every season. There's teams that you think's going to do it next season and they don't. Look at Leicester, they won the league next season. Where are you? So this is what happens. And when you do win a league, often it is between 2 teams. It has been for such a long time. It's never where a
Having
fourth
three or
team
four
still
teams in it.
chance.
Yeah.
It's always one or two teams that, I mean, like this season, if Arsenal could just put some wins together, they'd have no competition. So that would be
At all.
even the worst season ever. But again,
At
they've
all.
got to, they've still got to put points on the board to win the league. So now, and I know we'll go into it anyway, but when they don't do, look what's happening. So
Yeah.
you know,
This is what's
again,
happening.
you've got to ultimately you've got to give Carrick credit, and here we
Yeah.
are.
You segued us. This is what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is it.
This fella,
And
fair play to him, drinking an empty bottle. I
he's
don't know
got
how he got
himself
a
going
hold of
viral.
that.
I
Yeah,
know.
he's got himself going viral. Let me just read
Might
this
be a bit
before we move
early.
on.
I don't know, but anyway.
At Mark, Amri would have had us in a Spurs Do you know what? I think Michael's spot on. Yeah, man almost got us relegated last season, and we all gave him time. Remember when he left? We were
Yeah.
closer in points to the bottom three than the top three. Spot on, spot
Yeah.
on. So I don't know what Goldbridge is talking about. Listen, Arsenal, Jesus, mate. I need to. I've got all these streams downloaded here on my StreamYard. I need to go back. I basically said a few streams ago that I think Arsenal, not even a few streams ago, I'm talking about months ago, I think Arsenal will bottle it and Man City will win this league on goal difference. That's what I said. And part of me was obviously wishing that would happen because I just cannot
Yeah.
stand Arsenal. But I tell you what, mate, Man City have got Arsenal next. If they beat Arsenal, that puts them up to 67 points. They've then
Game
got
in
a
hand as
they've
well.
then got a game in hand. Let's say they beat Arsenal 1-0. That brings Arsenal's goal difference down to 37 and Man City's goal difference up to 36. Yeah?
Yeah.
There'll be one goal in it.
Yeah.
Then Man City win their game in hand 1-0. That brings them level with Arsenal on goal difference and points. I then believe it goes to head, which I think Man City would pip. I believe. I don't know the ins and outs, but I think Man City would basically, if they beat Arsenal 1-0 and they win their next game 1-0, just as an example, and bear in mind, they've just put, was it 4 past Chelsea or 3? 4.
Was it 4 in the end?
I
Can't
think it's
remember
4-0 yesterday. No,
Well,
3
3 or
0.
4 anyway.
3-0. 3-0. The point is if they beat Arsenal next week and then win their game in hand, they'll be top of the league. And it will be level on goal difference. I think this league could come down to goal difference. Like I said, Man City could win another title on goal difference. Do you think Arsenal have got, Arsenal famously beat us with Overmars scoring that goal at Old Trafford. They also won it with Sylvain Wiltord scoring a goal. Who was that against? Was that against us as well? I don't know. They famously gone to places and won titles before. They
Yeah.
need to go over there to the Etihad and win the title.
They after. Yeah.
Do you think they will?
No, I actually don't. I think, don't get me wrong, a few weeks ago, not confidence, probably the wrong word, but I had the feeling, strong feeling anyway, that Arsenal were going to finish the season with 2 cups. And now it's not even looking like they're going to finish with 1 now. But so obviously for me, it all hinges now on that game at the Etihad. If they beat City, then I think they win the league. But if they draw or lose, I do think it's over. Obviously, the draw could still give them a glimmer of hope. But
I think a draw is important for them. If they get a draw, it's important. But yeah,
it's definitely important to get a draw at least. But I think it's done definitely done if they lose, because it's now showing the impact of that Carabao Cup final. That impact is now showing now. I thought if they was to win that Carabao Cup, that was going to be their first, and maybe then the second would be the Premier League. When they lost that, I was thinking, okay, let's see how they recover from this. And it didn't get much better after that.
Then out of the FA Cup against Southampton.
Exactly. And I think it's one of those, though. I think when they're winning, you don't really notice it. But I think when you start to see them losing, you start to think back and think, right, okay, you were scraping wins when you were winning. Not just
from
that.
Corners.
You were winning badly. And we always say it's nice to win when you're not playing well, don't get me wrong, but you can't do that consistently
all the
though.
time. Yeah,
Eventually you'll get caught up with. So again, the heights of Manchester United over the years where we've probably had a terrible time at maybe like a Burnley or something, but we get away with a 1-0 win, but we haven't played well. That's fine, because then the next game we might just blow another team away. Arsenal haven't been doing that. Now, I understand that Arteta wanted to do this sort of change his tact a little bit and trying to be more on the defensive and sort of see games out. I get all that. And it seemed like it was working for him, but it has got to a point where I think
it's dried up.
Yourself, you've got to April now, and over the years, there's that history there where you start to capitulate in April. And City, to be fair, I think City normally start to get better a bit earlier.
They do.
City, with Pep and his know-how, I know that there's a lot of players there that possibly haven't got the know-how to get over the line, but Pep himself, and there's enough players there that do. And the signings they've made, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Gay, but I think that's a really inspired signing.
Did you see his finish yesterday?
His finish was like a striker's finish almost. But it's an inspired signing, though. It's one of those signings that Fergie would make now and again, which would just give you that little bit of an injection.
Semenyo's
Semenyo, we're going to come on to Semenyo as well. But I think to have that in their backline, because they have been struggling defensively this season in terms of injuries and stuff. So to have a player like Gahey, who again, he's a good player. He's not my type of player, but he's a good player. And I think he can get better under Pep. I think that's an inspired signing. Semenyo, again, that's the type of player that we should have been looking at. I think we were, but we couldn't compete.
But no, the reason we couldn't sign him, we couldn't compete with City, number one. And number two, he would be playing right wing back.
Yes, that's true, because we had Amarin still at that point. So
this is the issue, right? This was the issue.
To have those two players come in at that time, and Arsenal didn't really do anything. I don't believe, did they do anything in January? I can't remember if they did anything in January.
No, I don't think they did.
Not to that level anyway. Not to that level anyway.
We were talking about should they be doing something, should they be going...
Yeah, because like Madueke's and Eze's, I mean, Eze is only scoring against Spurs. That's not going to get you anywhere. Madueke is he's an okay player, but he's not on the level of Semenyo. So
falling off a cliff.
Again, you got Rodri coming back. He's come back now. So they've got, I mean, Foden can't even get on the pitch. So it kind of shows you where they're at. So I just think they go there. I think City win that game. And if they do win that game, I think it's all over for Arsenal. I know they'll still have the points on the table, but I think the pressure and the bottling, as that picture showed, I think that's about to come. And it's going to be interesting if they can do anything against Sporting. I mean, I always think not to do stuff like this because I have those superstitions and omens. But that could come back to haunt Arsenal. And again, if Arteta's not putting that up in the wall in the changing room and saying, we need to shut these lot up after that and get a reaction out of them, if they can't get a reaction out of them after stuff like this, it's never going to happen. And I think if they don't win the league this season, they need to get rid of Arteta. Yeah. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. No.
But I lastly on it, I just think that obviously it's going to be up to the result at the Etihad, but I can now see City taking the league off them.
Mate,
I just think City's got it in them to just win every game from now.
I've said this from months and months back. And that's because...
I thought there was too many points lead, and I thought Arsenal surely wouldn't bottle it from that many points ahead.
I had moments.
I was wrong.
I had moments where I thought, yeah, they've got it in the bag. City don't look like the City of old. I don't. I mean,
if they'd have won, it'd have been 12-point lead.
Yeah.
If they'd have beat Bournemouth.
Exactly. And they lost, right? They've lost the last 3 out of 4 games, and they won the Sporting game with a last-minute cutting from Martinelli and a great finish by Havertz, I have to say. But Sporting, even at the Emirates, I mean, they've just lost to Bournemouth there. It's going to be a nervy crowd. If Sporting get an early goal, goodness gracious me. I'm going to predict Sporting. I'm going to predict Sporting win that and knock them out on
just go all out for me. Nothing to lose. Just go all out. Try and get the goals, because Arsenal only wanted to score 1 goal and sit back.
Yeah, I think Sporting get an early goal and knock them out on penalties. That's my prediction there. But as for Arsenal in general, mate, I've said this from the very beginning. Even when I was on the football terrace and that, I used to get shouted at. I was being told they've got the best current squad in the world. And all I would say was, yes, they currently have the best performing squad in the world. They're top of
Mm,
the Premier League. They're top of the Champions League. Fantastic. Currently have the best performing squad. But do they have the best squad in the world? We cannot say that until the end of May.
yeah, yeah. That's
That's
why
what
we
I
got
said.
Walcott saying, "Would this beat your '08
Yeah,
team?"
yeah,
It's like, come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
man, you're
But
embarrassing yourself.
this is why they deserve everything they get. Because
Yeah,
they have a lot of people in their fan base
they
that
just do
start
all this
talking
too early.
about, yeah, start talking about being unbeaten, start talking about quadruples, start talking about breaking Jose Mourinho's record of goals conceded, start talking
Mm,
about dominating football for the next 5 to 6 years, and they haven't got one trophy in the bag yet. Not one.
yeah.
How can you talk this way? How can you compare? Someone like Theo Walcott is a perfect example of what majority of their fans are like. How can you even
Mm,
compare this team to the '08 Man United team? You know,
yeah, it's
it's
embarrassing.
just, it's
Embarrassing.
embarrassing. And this is why the whole world cannot wait to see this utter capitulation. That if they're going
Yeah,
to end this season with 0 trophies after being, you know, the most dominant, best squad in the
this is
world.
it. And it's like
It's so funny, and I didn't
certain
predict
players
it
just
because
not
I
showing
hate
up.
them. I didn't predict it
Yeah.
because I hate them. Yes, I do hate them. I predicted it because it's very likely it was going to happen because I've seen it happen with them before.
Mm,
And
yeah.
if you were in their position, here's before you come in, Dan. If Man
Yeah.
United next season were top of the Premier League, honestly, yeah, top of the Champions League in all 4 competitions, and people were asking me, "What do you reckon, Dave? You're going to win the quadruple?" Do you know what I would say? I swear down, guys, game by game. I
Yeah.
just want us to win the Premier League. That would be massive.
Exactly.
That would be massive if we win the Premier League, but it's going to be tough. I don't even want to talk about the quadruple because the fact that we're even top of the Premier League, and I know we're talking about a Man United that's not challenged for a while. Arsenal have been
Mm,
consistently second. The point is, I'd be humble enough and wary enough to say, let's just take it easy, game by game. Arsenal fans, majority of them anyway, deserve everything they're getting from me. I don't think they're going to win anything. I think we're in the last few weeks of Arteta's reign. That's what I think. That's where
yeah.
I'm at.
You, you
I
you
think he'll
you
be
could be
gone.
right. The way things are looking, you could be right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The
Uh,
last
I,
go on, mate, go on.
no, the only thing I was going to say is that people were waxing lyrical about Declan Rice, and I like Declan Rice, but it's like, where are you? Where are you, Declan Rice? When moments like this, you need your Sackers, you need your Declan Rices to step up. And obviously, you can't expect like a Jokeres
We
because he's
spoke
just come
about
into the club.
mm,
Where are they? They haven't
mm.
got that. I must admit, they haven't got that player to get them over the line.
We
They've been
spoke
doing
about
all
Declan
right.
Rice
Yeah.
and the standard of midfielders dropping off in current world football. Declan Rice is not a better player than Michael Carrick.
No.
However, this current generation would put Declan Rice up there like
Yeah,
Ballon
it's
d'Or.
recency bias. Recency
Ballon
bias.
d'Or,
Those two
he's
screamer
not
free kicks, and they think
he's
is the
not
best
better
thing
than
since
Michael
sliced bread.
Carrick, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
He's not nowhere near.
Yeah.
And not just Michael Carrick, you got play even a James Milner. He's not better than, in my opinion. Even a Jordan Henderson in his prime, he's not better than, in my opinion. But this is what you get. This is what you get with Arsenal fans. Final little bit of the stream, mate, and then we've got to go and relax and try and watch
Yeah.
Manchester United. Our Spurs getting relegated.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying up until this weekend anyway that they're going to get away with it because West Ham are worse. But then West Ham go and pull out a 4-0 thrashing, and it's like, where did that come from? So when stuff like that can happen, and then you've obviously got
You've got Forest and Leeds there, yeah? So Leeds will be playing tonight. Leeds will be playing tonight.
Yeah. This is the thing, and I mean, again, hopefully Leeds don't get any points tonight, but
that's the point, though. They want to, don't they?
Yeah, you can definitely see Leeds still getting some points before the end of the season, obviously. Forest are better than where they are for me. I don't think they quite deserve to be in 16th, but again, that's always easy to say when if they're in 16th, they deserve to be there. But what I mean by that is that they're a decent team. West Ham
firmly between Spurs and West Ham for you. Firmly between those two.
I just didn't see West Ham doing what they did the other day, but wow. beating Wolves. And Wolves had a good increase in performances and what have you. So I didn't expect that. And then Spurs then got put into the relegation zone before they played, and then they went and lost. So De Zerbi, as you've said already, takes a bit of time to get his philosophy into play. De Zerbi is very stubborn, a bit like what Amorim was like. He's not going to sacrifice his principles.
No.
He's only. What's really bad though, and I won't be happy with this, is that I'll stay on if we get relegated. I'm happy to stay at Spurs and get them back up and all this sort of stuff. Why are you talking like that already?
Yeah,
so,
because I think that's been in the conversations, Dan, when he got the job.
Possibly, and that's why.
And I think he's looking at long term. I think he doesn't even mind. Of course, he doesn't want to get relegated, but I think he's just looking long term.
I don't know who they've got next, but I always knew that it was going to be very difficult for him to beat Sunderland, especially Sunderland at home, because Sunderland being very good at home. I think they've only lost 3 times at home.
Yeah, no, it's always going to be difficult. Yeah.
So for them to sort of, I mean, again, I would jokingly sort of put a comment in Alex's stream saying they'll have a bounce that'll give them a draw, because I didn't see him bounce into a win against Sunderland, but I thought they might get a draw bounce, but they didn't even get that. So for me, I didn't think it was going to happen, but I think they could actually go down. Again, it all depends on what West Ham can do, but
Millwall look like they're coming to the Premier League next year. Millwall, they look like they might be coming to the Premier League next year. So just for that reason, I don't think you want West Ham to go down, because that would be an amazing fixture, right?
Yeah.
And again, Spurs going down. Honestly, we talked about improving our squad.
I want to see it.
We talked about improving our squad. There's a few players in there, man. We spoke about this on the last stream. There's a few players in there that we could get on the cheap, man. Basuma being one of them. Madison being another one. There's a lot of players in that team that I would take.
Simmons isn't bad.
Kulusevski, I know they're all injured.
Kulusevski is a top pick for me. He's a top pick for me.
They're all injured.
Yeah.
Michael says, I want Forest or Spurs to go down because I like Nuno, and Forest going down would make Elliott cheaper, but Spurs going down would be the best in the it'd be unbelievable.
I want to see it because of the stadium they've got, the fact that they won the Europa League last season, the fact that they thought, they've broken that hoodoo and they've got a cup in how many years and they're going to kick on. I mean, just to see what Expressions does next. Does he carry on being a content creator in the Championship?
Of course he does. Yeah, but it's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah. I was watching the boxing on the weekend, and they've got like a drone footage of Spurs' stadium.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to the missus,
this season, best performance this season.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, I remember saying to the missus, like, that stadium is going to be in the Championship next year.
Exactly.
It's incredible. It's incredible. But like I say, for me, if they go down, there's a few players there that I think we can really take advantage of.
Oh, you've got to be thinking about it, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, you talked about right backs, left backs. Porro.
I like Udogie. I don't know which side he plays on.
Porro,
I quite
Udogie,
like
both.
Porro, yeah. Porro, yeah.
Honestly, they would improve where we're at now.
Definitely.
Honestly, they would. So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to go down. I mean,
not a cert, but
Michael
it's
says,
looking more likely now.
And Destiny Udogie.
I've kind of gone off Van de Ven a bit, but I still like him because of his speed and the fact he can play a high line and all that sort of stuff. But he's just injury prone for me, and I don't know. But
I mean, their whole team's injury prone. That's why they're in the situation they're in, right? That is why.
To consider there, though. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there is. Right. That wraps us up, Dan. Before we go, any score predictions? We didn't quite predict a score for tonight.
No. I mean, I'm going to stick with my score prediction that I've given already, and I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Manchester United. I think it is going to be tight. And that's going to be a lot more to do with the fact that we're going to have to quickly knock off some ring rust a little bit. But yeah, I think it'll be tight because, again, as I've already said at the start of the show, Leeds will be coming for our throats. They always try and do that. I know we have beaten well over the years. McTominay used to play well against them, to be fair. But I think we'll get a narrow win against them is my prediction.
In those 5 meetings there, I've counted that we scored 15 goals. So let me just double check that. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 maybe. Jesus, my maths is shocking, mate, I tell you. 14 goals. I'm going to go for 4-0 tonight.
Nice.
Two Bruno
Nice.
assists, and a Bruno goal. 4-0 tonight is what I'm going for. And I'm buzzing to have Man United back. I think we're going to put on a great performance.
You
I
think
think
they're going to
Bruno.
be energetic, up for it, no rust, 4-0. Like it.
Yeah, I mean, look, so yeah, but I don't give a shit. I'm going 4-0 as well. That's what I've just said, bro. That is what I've just said. 4-0. Michael says 3-1. Yeah, I think we're gonna smash him tonight. Honestly, I think we're gonna smash him tonight. I think the crowd's gonna be up for it. Bruno masterclass. I think Bruno's gonna cement his Player of the Year award so that Alex, who comes on our show from the Football Brotherhood, can get a huge, huge bet that he put on. He put on early in the season
Oh,
for
yes.
Bruno
Yeah,
Player of the
yeah,
Year.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm rooting for Bruno for that reason as well, for Alex, because I think
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
great
yeah.
bet, great
Mhm.
shout. I think Bruno needs to cement himself as the player of the season, and I think a big performance tonight does that, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
And he's
4-0
promised
is what
me
I'm
a few
going for.
drinks as well, Alex. So don't forget that you've promised me a few drinks if
Yeah,
you win.
nice, nice, good. Guys, it's been emotional in the emotion room. This may be the last show on my channel for a little while because I'm going away for a little while on the retreats that I do with my clients. However, I will be hopefully doing a show on for the next 2 weeks at least on Dan's show, on Dan
Yeah.
Talks United. So look out for us for the next two
Okay.
weeks anyway
Yeah.
on Dan's show
Keep the
for
content
doing our
rolling.
exactly for doing our weekly show there because I won't be able to do it on my channel for the next 2 weeks. But either way, it's been emotional. Hopefully, our wait for Manchester United to play is a good wait. Exactly. Let's go. Catch you on the next one, guys. Please head over to Dan Talks
Yes.
United for moving forward for the next few weeks and in general. And in general. Catch you
Yeah.
guys soon. Thanks, Michael, for being here. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're feeling better. See you guys soon. It's been emotional. Boom.
All right. See you later, people.